If you are hearing this, then something has already gone wrong. My name is Alex Krutov, former technician of Object 51, the underground bunker buried so deep that oxygen feels like a privilege. And in a few minutes, the emergency lights will fail completely. And then it will finally reach me. I'm recording this for one reason, because it told me to. You need to understand something before I begin. There are places under our feet where the world changes shape, where darkness behaves like a living thing, where silence watches you back. And behind one of those steel doors, marked only with the number 51, lives something that learned how to enter people, like an open door. The night I arrived at Checkpoint 7, nothing felt human. There was no wind, no animals, no sound, just a massive cargo elevator in the middle of a dead valley. When it took me underground, I felt pressure in my ears, like the earth itself was closing around me. When the doors opened, the cold hit me first, a cold that didn't feel like temperature, but like something inside the air was missing. Object 51 wasn't a bunker. It was a tomb that hadn't been filled yet. A man in a black uniform handed me a stack of papers. "Sign," he said. No explanations, no warnings, just lines about psychological corrosion, perceptual hazards, and the one line I will never forget. Do not, under any circumstances, allow prolonged eye contact with Entity 51F. I asked why. He looked at me like I had already made a mistake. It remembers what it sees. They took me down so many levels I lost count. On one landing, I heard something behind the walls. Not movement, not machinery. Breathing. Long, slow, deliberate breaths. My escort froze for a moment, his expression hollowed out. Then he just said, "Keep walking." The first time I saw Entity 51F on the cameras, my skin felt like it was shrinking. The feed showed a tall, trembling figure, so thin it looked like it had been drained of substance, as if it was made out of absence. The darkness around it didn't behave normally. It bent, like it was leaning toward it. The rule was simple. Don't watch it for more than 3 seconds. But the cameras didn't help. Sometimes the entity wasn't on them, but you could feel that it was somewhere just outside the frame, as if it was standing inches away from the lens, waiting for the moment you blink. Then came the first power failure. Everything went black. The screaming started almost immediately, metal tearing, boots running, bones hitting concrete. Then nothing, just breathing again, much closer now. When emergency lights came on, the lower hallway was twisted. Steel doors bent, walls dented outward, as if something inside the concrete had been trying to push through. They claimed they forced the entity back inside its chamber. But one of the guards later whispered to me that the chamber door had never been opened. It walked through the wall, he said, and I believed him. After that night, Object 51 started to feel wrong. The air tasted metallic. Shadows stretched toward you, even when the light was still. Sometimes, while walking alone, I heard footsteps behind me, perfectly synced with my own, until I stopped. But the footsteps didn't. The experiment they made me assist with was the breaking point. They strapped a prisoner to a reinforced chair, separated from the entity by a one-way steel window. They illuminated the chamber, and the entity was standing exactly where the prisoner was looking, as if it had been waiting. 10 seconds, the scientist said. At 11, the prisoner started choking. At 12, every muscle in his body locked. And then he whispered through clenched teeth, "It's inside. It's inside. It's already inside." When they pulled him away, he was smiling so unnaturally that his lips tore. I asked the scientist what happened. He didn't look at me. "It doesn't enter the body," he said. "It enters the space behind the eyes." After that, I started forgetting things. Small things. My login codes, my room number. Then bigger things. Faces, names, whole days. Something was eating my memories, piece by piece, hollowing me out. Then came the Black Protocol. Lights died. Screens died. Doors unlocked themselves. Alarms screamed, "Entity 51F in undefined position." Undefined meant it wasn't anywhere. Undefined meant it could be behind you, and you would never know. We barricaded ourselves in the control room. In total darkness, you begin to hear things you're not supposed to hear. Fingers tapping the door, breathing under the floor, a voice whispering your name from inches away. When backup power flickered on, the corridor outside was covered in black silhouettes, like shadows burned into the walls. Only one camera still worked. It showed the bottom of the stairwell. Entity 51F, standing still. Head tilted, staring directly at the camera. Then it turned and began to climb the stairs. We ran, but the stairwell felt wrong. The air got heavier with each step. My supervisor slowed, then stopped. "I can hear it," he whispered. His voice sounded like it would come in from far inside his own skull. I shook him. "What do you hear?" He smiled a dead smile. "It says, 'It already chose you.'" And he stepped backward into the darkness, swallowed without a sound. I don't remember reaching the surface, just fog, headlights, and the feeling that someone was standing right behind me, breathing against the back of my neck. They interrogated me for days, then let me go. But they never asked the only question that mattered. "Did you look at it for more than 3 seconds?" Because I did. I think that's when it walked inside me, like an open door. Weeks later, entire parts of my memory collapsed. Childhood, friends, my own voice in old recordings. Gone. I hear whispering when lights are off. I see a tall shadow standing in the corner of my room. It never moves, unless I blink. Then it's closer, and closer, and closer. Sometimes, at night, I feel a second set of thoughts behind my own. A presence sitting inside my head, like someone watching me from the inside out. And sometimes it whispers, "Tell them about me." The more they know, the closer I become. So if you listen to this, then I did what it wanted. Now you know about Object 51. Now you know about me. Now you know about it. And tonight, if you wake up to the sound of breathing in the corner of your room, don't look. Don't blink. Don't search for the darkness moving in the dark. Because if it sees your eyes fully, it will step through you, like an open door, and you will never close again.